Welcome to Sharon is Coach. If it don't apply, let it fly. YouTube channel. Sharon is courageous, optimistic, authentic, compassionate, and humble. She is me. I am Sharon, coming to you live from Richmond, Virginia, on this good old hump day. Um, I know I missed you guys on Monday night. I do apologize for that if you guys are looking for me. Life happens. So when you're living in real life, things can get you a little distracted. But it was a good distraction, so I can't complain. But here I am today. Wanting to start this hump day off with a little bit of a share, personal share. Um, and I hope it is a reminder of always doing unto others as you would have them do unto you. I had one of the most amazing experiences earlier today. Um, and it helped to reinforce the fact that no matter what happens in your life, while you can't control other people and their actions, you can always control you and how you respond to certain situations. So I've been trying to get some business taken care of, and sadly to say, I haven't. It hasn't been the most pleasant experience. I'm finding now that a lot of people that are working in the service industry, consumer-based jobs, customer service related, they aren't as warm and welcoming as they should be. They aren't as helpful. I feel like I'm having to pry information that should be voluntarily provided to me as a customer or consumer. Um, but that's neither here nor there. What I wanted to share is on with well, actually it is because it feeds into it. Having had a few bad experiences so far this week in regards to customer service and the level that I receive, I'll be the first one to admit I am the worst customer simply because I come from a service based background. I'm a service based professional and have been for well over 10 years, probably going into 20 years now, if I think back correctly. So it's important to me to know that when I'm acting in the capacity of an advocate or providing service, I tend to go above and beyond simply because I operate from a place of wanting to have a positive impact on as many people as I can, in any capacity that it is. So whether it's a phone call that I'm making trying to take care of business, or if I'm out shopping, or if I'm just simply interacting with people in public, I want that to be a positive and pleasant experience. I believe in seed planting, so I tend to give a lot of grace, try to be compassionate and understanding. Not saying I always get it right, but ultimately that's what I attempt to do. Okay. So that being said, it hits me kind of hard when I don't receive the level of service. I feel just at a minimum when you're calling in and it's a new experience. It's just certain things that should be voluntold. You really shouldn't. A customer shouldn't have to pry that information out of someone, especially when you know it can have a negative impact on them. That being said, I still don't go out a lot. Something I'm trying to, get back in the habit of doing. So a lot of my personal chores and things like that, I use like the delivery services for them. And it has sadly been my experience that not everybody that shops for you, I'm not going to call any specific company out, but you guys know who they are. It's several of them where they'll make the groceries for you and deliver them to your home. A lot of times, those workers, for whatever reason, they don't take their time when they're picking out your groceries and shopping for you. Well, this morning, I had the very delightful experience of working with this young lady. Her name is Felicia. If for whatever reason, God willing, she sees this, she and I shared a very spiritually filled moment this morning where, we're faced with choices. Everything is free will. So for me, she dropped my groceries off. I noticed that I had some high dollar items that I had not ordered. And I know most people would have said, just keep them. Well, I didn't. I let her know, I'm not sure what the situation was. I don't know if you did multiple orders or whatever it is, but these particular items are not mine. I didn't order them. And looking at the receipt, I didn't appear to have been charged for them. So I just didn't want her to get in trouble. And she took the time to, we went over the receipt to make sure I was covered, she was covered, and all that goodness. Well, after I gave her the items back, she said, well, I'm going to fix it. Whatever the error is, I'm going to make sure it's all right, because I don't want you to have to pay for something you didn't order, which was fine. That's what she said she would have, that's what she should have done. So that's just meeting the basic standard of customer service, if you will, when you're in that field, as far as I'm concerned. Well, she went above and beyond. Not only did she take time out of her busy schedule to make sure that I was good, but she came back. She came back. Yes, she did. And if for no other reason than to share her testimony with me. Not even expecting it. She came back, she knocked on the door. She said, I apologize, don't want to keep you, but I just wanted to let you know that one, I corrected the mistake, so there was no overcharge. And then two, she said, it's funny, she said, because I went to the bank and I was trying to get some money out. She was trying to pay a bill or something of that nature. So when she steps up to the ATM machine, the ATM machine started spitting money at her. She wasn't by herself, so naturally, human nature, they said, that's your blessing. It's yours. Take it. That's your blessing. And it was refreshing to me because I don't find too many people with a conscience. I'm the person with the conscience. I believe in you get back from the universe what you put out there into it. You never know what someone else is going through. So believe it or not, she took the money back inside the bank and she returned it. And even the bank representatives thought she was crazy because she was bringing back cash money that was legitimately given to her for whatever reason. And the thing of it is, we when you have a conscience and when you're operating from a place filled with the spirit, whatever that is, things that typical people may not find it hard to do. Like some people would have just said, I need the money, it's mine, God gave it to me for a reason, that's my blessing. Okay, I am the type of person, I feel like God will test you. He's gonna test you. Are your needs going to be more important than someone else's, or are you going to promote the greater good of other people, but put that before yourself? So this is the thing with that. She did return the money, and I'm pretty sure she, just like me, felt like, there's going to be some blessings coming the way. And the aha moment was, I had shared the interaction about the groceries that I didn't pay for being delivered, and I was like, nah, I just let her know. And when I shared that, they was like, it's good that you did that. God is going to bless you. Had you kept that, had you been dishonest, it could have been a curse. Bad things happen when you're not operating from a place of peace, good, and graciousness, right? So to have that moment with her, and she was filled with the Spirit. She and I both was like, it was this joy. It was just like, I can't believe that there is someone else out here other than myself, that can relate to or attest to the goodness of the Lord. And when you are given, or when you have free will, how rewarding it is when you've done the right thing, even if it serves to be a put you at a disadvantage. Who didn't need extra money? Who don't need extra money this day and time? But the thing of it is, it wasn't hers to keep and she returned it. Just like the food wasn't mine to keep, so I returned it. Okay. Now again, I'm not gonna claim to say I'm perfect all the time and I don't always meet the mark. And that's life. That's human nature. But what I will tell you is, more often than not, I'm taking the high road. More often than not, I'm taking the high road. And if for no other reason than the joy I feel knowing that I don't have to think about what may come back or what may haunt me later. I don't have to look over my shoulder when I deal with people. I don't have to worry about that knock at the door because I've done something illegal or wrong. It's those things that set us apart from other people. And when I say us, I'm talking about the people that no matter what has happened in your life, you still choose to be gracious. You still choose to be forgiving. You still choose to be authentic and embrace who you are, no matter what that looks like to someone else. That's who we are. that's who we represent. And that's what's going to set us apart in regards to our elevation process. If you're looking to take a shortcut, do someone else harm, you're dragging people down to try to uplift yourself, you want to talk bad about someone behind their back to make you look better or to justify your behavior when you know it's not right. It's those people that someone like myself would say, it just makes us look bad. Not only does it make you feel bad, but it makes you look bad. So I beg you, in light of the fact that we know you reap what you sow, whatever you put out there, you're going to get it back tenfold, whether it be good or bad. I encourage you to take the high road and choose good over top of evil and anything else. I encourage you to say yes to positiveness. I encourage you to say yes to living a life in which one you can always be proud of, where you don't have to look over your shoulder or wondering about that knock at the door. When you live that type of life, you live a life led with peace, because that's what I found peace. She had peace and joy, and then it also just reinforces our faith and our hope that everything will work itself out. And know, those that are living out there righteously, you're not living alone. We're not the last of a dying breed. There's more of us out there than not. We just don't have the ability to fellowship with each other as a whole as often as we would like to and as often as we would need to. But don't be discouraged, no matter what your situation or your circumstances are. Just like that ATM machine spit that money out in a time in her need, I guarantee you, when the Lord answers that prayer, no matter when it is, it's going to far exceed her expectation. Amen, amen, amen. So it's not always what you don't do. Sometimes it truly is. Or it's not always what you do. Sometimes it truly is what you don't do. Okay, so it could have been very easy and also selfish, because you never know, that could have been that person's last $50 or however much money it was that they needed to pay a bill, and it could have been the difference between them having food on their table for their family that night or having their lights disconnected. It could have been a number of things that, had she kept that money, it could have had a negative impact. But again, it did me good to know that there are other people out there like me that is filled with grace, compassion, and understanding. It's not always about our immediate needs. Sometimes, if you look past yourself, there's a greater reward. I'm in my humbling season. Every day I have to recondition myself to live without something that I've had the pleasure of being able to enjoy, the luxuries that have always been made available to me through hard work and dedication. Now, what it has done on the flip side, while in the beginning stages of this entire process for me, it's been difficult. It's been a difficult adjustment period. I'm human, what can I say? But it has drawn me nearer to God. It has drawn me near to my higher power. It has made me look within myself and ask myself questions. If I'm reacting this way in a negative way, how did I wind up giving that situation, that person, that company, or whatever it is, that kind of power over me to have me shut down and broken the way that I was? And through self-reflection, I grew stronger. I started asking those difficult questions. It's not always, why did someone do something to me? It should sometimes very well be, how did I allow that to be done to me? Because people can only do to you what you allow them to do to you. When we're talking about abuse, when we're talking about discrimination, when we talk about lack of education, people can only do to you what you allow them to do to you. So at some point, we have to look into ourselves. For example, if your collective opinion is to say all people are bad, no, that's not all bad. All people are not bad, because you haven't had the opportunity to deal with all people. Maybe it's all the people that you've chosen to deal with have some bad traits or personality quirks and things like that. But we want to be careful about that generalization, because generalization can equal character assassination. Because if you're lumping everyone into that, everyone is not that. Everyone is not that way. Everyone does not behave that way. So that's where you want to be careful with that. So again, whenever you have the choice to choose right or wrong, good or bad, please let it be right. Please let it be for the good. I promise you, when you start operating from a place of graciousness, that does come back around. Because while I may be in a storm, I do now live in a way where I experience a level of peace that I never had before. Even with all the worldly goods that I had the blessing to experience, I still didn't have that peace. I've had the big house, the nice car. I've had it all: the career, the job, the friends, the family. I've had it all. But even with having it all,